They're going to pitch it to Jahad Thomas, and it's going to be a Temple Owls touchdown. Temple is on the board, and Jahad Thomas has his first rushing touchdown in his Temple career. Penn State 10, Temple 6. About a 40-yard kick. Snap down, hold down, kick on the way, and the kick is good! Austin Jones ties up the game. Penn State 10, Temple 10. P.J. Walker's going to keep it himself, and it's going to be a Temple touchdown! P.J. Walker crosses the tee, and the Temple Owls have a touchdown. Temple 16, Penn State 10. And Temple's going to run the field, and their defense is signaling to the Temple sideline to get up and make some noise. It's go time. It's the fourth quarter, and Temple is 15 minutes away from defeating the Penn State Nittany Lions, and it will be the first time in 74 years. 3rd and 15, ball on the 20. Christian Hackenberg in the gun. Twins to the left, one to the right. Lynch to the left and Hackenberg. Back to drop is Hackenberg. He's standing in the pocket, going to roll to the right, and he was tripped up by Nate D. Smith, who's in on the sack, the senior leader of the Temple Owls. Makes it 4th down and 20. Ball on the 15. Another handoff to Jahad Thomas. He finds a hole, and some more bounces on the outside. 10-5, touchdown Temple! No flags! And the Temple Owls increase their lead off the legs of Jahad Thomas. Temple 23, Penn State 10.
Zach, Jahad Thomas makes 3 different jukes.
Back to drop is Hackenberg, standing tall in the pocket, and he's going to be taken down. Down goes Hackenberg. Jacob Martin. Austin Jones has about a 30-yard attempt here. Snap down, hold down, kick on the way, and the kick is good! Austin Jones drills it through the uprights. 27 unanswered points, and the Temple Owls have a 27-10 lead here at Lincoln Financial Field. Trips to the right, one to the left. Hackenberg working out of the gun. 3-step drop. Hackenberg standing tall in the pocket, and he is going to be taken down by Tyler Medikevich. The icing on the cake. Under a minute to go. That is his 3rd sack of the day. The game is over. 74, no more. For the first time in 74 years, the Temple Owls have defeated the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Today, all the Temple alumni and the current Temple players and all the Temple fans can say, we are Temple, and we have beat Penn State. What a scene here at Lincoln Financial Field. The cherry and the white beat Penn State. Final score, 27-10. This is for Bruce Arians. This is for Steve Joachim. This is for the Klecko family, Raheem Brock, Wayne Harden, and all the great Temple players of the past and current. The Temple Owls, led by head coach Matt Rule, have done what many people once thought was the unthinkable. Now, it is reality. The Owls win. Owls win. Owls win.
Legendary basketball coach and now ESPN analyst, and that's Seth Greenberg. Seth, great to see you. How are you?
This is big, live and in person. This isn't over the phone. This is this is huge for me. I mean, whip radio is big. I understand that. And you, come on, Jack, come on. It doesn't get any better than this.
And that's Jim Nantz of CBS.
Well, it's amazing, that, here you are in college. You're what you're doing at your age is pretty phenomenal. I mean, I started working for my campus radio station my sophomore year, but I didn't have the form that you do now.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
It's time for the main event with Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn on WHIP.
Let's do it.
Let's do it!
We usually start the show off with this music, but this is not the music that I want to hear today. Play it. 74, no more. 10 sacks. Change Christian Hackenberg's name to Christian Sackenberg. James Franklin, he checked the PSIs of the footballs. Well, guess what? His offensive line was deflated. Temple scored 27 unanswered points. Penn State should have left Lincoln Financial Field at halftime. Why? Because they didn't show up in the second half. Matt Rule is the savior of Temple football. Christian Hackenberg just got sacked again. That Elizabeth connection is special. PJ and Jihad. The Penn State folks will act like they aren't livid, but they're mad. Marcus Satterfield's pitch call was brilliant. Temple went on a 93-yard drive. We are Temple. We are 1-0. And you are 0-1. Let the beat drop. We beat Penn State. We beat Penn State. We beat Penn State. It has happened. 74. No more. The Temple Owls have beat the Nittany Lions of Penn State. We beat Penn State. Say it again. We beat Penn State. Go back to Happy Valley. You lost. You got embarrassed.
We beat Penn State.
The Temple Owls beat Penn State. We beat Penn State. Matakevich just sacked Hackenberg again. We beat Penn State. That's right, everybody. Welcome in to a celebratory show. If you can't tell, I'm Zach Gelb, he's Michael Zahn, then you are an idiot. Because today is a fantastic day. Today is one of the greatest days to ever be a Temple football fan. Because on Saturday, the Temple Owls gave it to Penn State in that second half. We all thought it was going to get ugly at 10-0. But this team, did the process. They went out there and they won the football game in the second half. And Mike, the momentum changer to me was when they went on that 93-yard drive after the defense was finally figuring out Hackenberg and this offense, which the offense is just totally overrated. They went out there and they went on a 93-yard drive. And that sent a message to Penn State that we are Temple and we are going to be in for a big-time football game. It was unbelievable. Then the second half came. Austin Jones tied it up. And from there, it was all Temple. Jihad Thomas had a touchdown. P.J. Walker had a rushing touchdown. The Sharif Finch one-handed interception was miraculous. And then the next thing you know, there was 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and 1. And Temple won the football game by scoring 27 unanswered points. Final score, Temple 27, Penn State 10. Michael, say that score for me one more time.
Temple 27, the Penn State Nittany Lions from Happy Valley, not so happy right now, 10.
How great is this?
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. The game within itself, There are so many highlights. You brought it up. You can talk about the Sharif Finch interception. You can talk about Jahad Thomas's pitch, or P.J. Walker pitching it over to Jahad Thomas to make it 10-6, ultimately 10-7. You can talk about Alex Starzyk as a punter. You can talk about Austin Jones as a kicker. You can talk about Tyler Medikevich as a defensive player. It was a team win. That's what's most important about this game. It was a team win. A lot of games that Temple used to win, one guy would take it over. We talk about one side of it. The special teams was good. The offense finally figured it out, and the defense did exactly what they are supposed to do or build up to do, and they didn't. You win by 17. It was incredible. I wish I had a better adjective. It was just incredible. It's mind-boggling that they were able to win by 3 scores. They were able to score 27 unanswered at one point, and Temple won 27-10. This was not a nail-biter.
This was a blowout. This was a massacre.
Darn close to it.
And this was a long time coming.
74
years. And it's over. And I don't want to hear from the Penn State fan today that's on Twitter and is going to say, oh, well, guess what? Guess what, Zach? We lost the football game more than you wanted. No, you got punched in the mouth and you never got back up.
You've been replying to a lot of people these last 2 days.
Because it's a joke.
I'm aware.
That team was not interested in the football game in the second half. A first-round draft pick competes the same way in the first minute as he did in the last minute. And he was disinterested in the football game in the second half. And Jared Allen even said it. They did not care in the second half. And when Temple took the lead finally and went up 17-10 after the Sharif Finch interception that was overturned, and then PJ ran it in and faked everyone out, I knew the game was over then. This is an historical day. This is an historical win for the Temple football program, because now Matt Rule, who already has done a remarkable job recruiting, can take this win and get on the phone, and I'm sure he was after the game, and say, hey, come play for Temple. Penn State dominates the state. No. Look at the scoreboard. 27-10. This wasn't 27-24. This wasn't a one-point game. This was a blowout. This was one team just being better, more physical, and better coached all around. There is not one facet of the game that Penn State played better than Temple did. Their offensive line was manhandled. On the Nate D. Smith sack, it was a 2-man rush. Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. They didn't load the box. It was a 2-man rush. Dos. 2 people. And they couldn't stop him. I knew the Penn State offensive line was bad. I didn't think they were this bad. And this Temple defense was unbelievable last year. And their team goal going into this year was 40 team sacks. You got to change that number. Bump it up a bit. Because one game through the season, you're already a 4th way there. And I'm not a math major, and I could tell you those numbers.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. This is a great day. And the fans at Lincoln Financial Field were awesome. They were. I thought this was going to be more Penn State fans than Temple fans. I was dead wrong. It is just such a good feeling. When we sat there in the press box with 7 minutes to go, I was elated that we went to commercial break. Because they would have had to bleep so many words that I said. It was just, I can't even describe the feeling. This is a football program that had 2 wins in Matt Rule's first year. People were calling for Phil Snow to get fired, and those people were idiots. Because they said all along, trust the process. And the process was shown on Saturday, at Lincoln Financial Field, where the Owls took down the Penn State Nittany Lions for the first time in 74 years. Satterfield did a brilliant job. That pitch call was great. Phil Snow told the defense they would allow the first 2 scores. We'll play you that audio from Tyler Medikevich in segment number 2. We have great audio from Matt Rule after the game, giving a game ball to the legendary coach Wayne Harden, who emailed Coach Rule that morning and told him Temple was going to win the game. Temple doesn't look at this as an upset. I think it was an upset. I picked Penn State to win the game. What an idiot I am. And this is the best wrong prediction of my life. I love when fans tweet me saying your prediction was wrong. There may not be a happier person on campus besides players on the football team or anyone that has an affiliation with the football team than myself. This is just great. Enjoy it. Have some fun today on Labor Day. But as Bill Belichick would say, Mike, we're on to Cincinnati because that's a tough football team. 8 o'clock Saturday night. Those may be the two best teams in the conference.
Before we get ahead of ourselves, you mentioned Christian Hackenberg.
Sackenberg. Christian Sackenberg.
Christian Hackenberg happened to be very disinterested, especially in the second half. And it's hard for him to be interested.
Sackenberg.
Okay. It's hard for you to be interested when you have number 8 in wearing cherry and white, recording 7 tackles and 3 sacks against Penn State. He was actually just about 30 minutes ago. Temple football's Tyler Minikevich wins Defensive Player of the Week in the American Athletic Conference. No surprise there. 3
breaking
sacks.
News, bum bum.
Didn't say it was necessarily breaking news, but 3 sacks. You want to know the last Temple Owl to have 3 sacks? Did you see this one?
Muhammad Wilkerson.
And did he make it to the next level?
Oh, yeah, he did. He got picked in the first round.
Is he pretty good at that next level?
Yeah, he's a pretty good football player.
So I'm not implying Tyler Minikevich is the next Muhammad Wilkerson, but just to say there have been a couple players in between Muhammad Wilkerson and Tyler Minikevich. That is incredible. The fact that he has 3 sacks, and as a team they wanted 40 sacks, Tyler Minikevich is on pace and clearly will not eclipse it, but he's on pace for just under 40 sacks himself. Now, granted, he's not going to keep up getting 3 sacks.
Those numbers are so much fun.
Yeah.
My favorite number, though, is 362. And that's the amount of tackles Tyler Minikevich has in his career here at Temple University. And he is on pace to become one of 7 players in NCAA history to have 100 tackles each season. So in his freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and senior year, he is on pace to be 1 out of 7 players. Tyler Minikevich may not be the quickest player on the field. Tyler Minikevich may not be, from a combine standpoint, the best player. But that guy is a gamer. You need to watch the games and not just look at stats. Because I want that guy on my football team. He is such an assiduous football player. He goes out there and he prepares like no other. And he is the leader of this team. He is the heart and soul of this team. And he's the person that is putting Temple football in the right direction. Enjoy this one, Temple fans. Continue to support your football team. And if you want, rub it in the face at the people of Happy Valley. Because as much as they will deny it, and as much as they will say, oh, it's Temple, we don't care, they do care. And they can make fun of us and say, oh, you finally got lucky for the first time in 74 years. I don't care. There is nothing lucky about 27-10. We want to hear from you, Temple fans. 215-204-WHIP is our number. We have a fantastic show for you today. Kenny Harper is going to join us at 11:30. He was on this football team last year, and he gave a big-time speech to the Temple football team after they got denied a bowl bid. And Matt Rule did talk about that on Saturday after the game and did give thanks to Kenny Harper. He's Michael Zahn. I'm Zach Gelb. Time in the WHIP studios is 11:19. We'll take a quick break. And when we get back, what do you think we're going to talk about?
I'm thinking Temple football.
A little more Temple football. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to The Main Event with Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn on WHIP.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Main Event right here on Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. He is Michael Zahn. I am Zach Gelb on this celebratory Labor Day Monday. And we're not celebrating Labor Day. We're celebrating Temple football beating the crap out of Penn State. Mike, we sat there in the broadcast booth, and at 10-0, it looked like it was going to get ugly. It looked like this was going to be another Temple football game up against Penn State where there's so much hype and then they don't come through with the victory and we get embarrassed again. But this team didn't quit. And that 93-yard drive, and the defense did a really good job before that, after they settled down, following allowing 10 points. They really went out there, and that offense sent a message on that 93-yard drive. You had some conversions on 3rd and long, and then the pitch play to conclude that drive was just brilliant by Marcus Satterfield.
The thing you and I kept on talking about during the broadcast was Temple needs to stick to their game plan. They allowed 10 points, and if you keep in mind, Penn State's first touchdown came really on the strength of their very first offensive play, where Polk runs for 30-plus yards down the sideline. They're now already on Temple's side of the ball. They're excited. They're throwing the ball around. Hackenberg started the game off okay. So suddenly, they get 7 points. Temple still was anemic on offense. Then they come back down the field because they have good field position, and they get 3, so that's 10-0. Now, the game was 27-10, but if you remember, in hindsight, there were so many plays Jahad Thomas tries to run up the gut, and on first down, loses 2-3 yards. I don't have the stat in front of me.
He was resilient. He didn't quit.
But at least 5 times, Jahad Thomas ran the ball and lost yardage. But they didn't stop. Marcus Satterfield said, okay, you're going to knock us down? Okay, fine. Because guess what? Next time I'm going to try and run up the gut again. And if you stop me again, okay, we're going to do it again. And it just so happened for the first 2-3 drives, Temple was unable to score. They were unable to advance the ball. Now, suddenly they started advancing the ball. And you know what Marcus Satterfield does? He says, okay, I'm going to do a pitch. Here's what's going to happen. P.J. Walker hikes the ball, gives it to, I believe, Armstead. Armstead gives it to John Christopher, pitches it out.
It was Thomas.
It was Jahad Thomas.
Yeah.
Jahad Thomas then pitches it over to John Christopher, and Christopher gives it to P.J. Walker.
Boom.
A pass.
Catch and run by your quarterback. Yeah. That's your quarterback right there.
And the point I'm saying is all you need to do is get 1-2 first downs, and it gives you some confidence. And they didn't look back. They didn't stop. They did not stop. Temple goes 27 unanswered. The defense was unstoppable. The special teams did their job. The
Austin Jones had 2 big kicks.
Yes, and those were not
those
gimmies.
Those don't go in last year.
Those were not gimmies. Those were
a
legitimate
30 and a 40-yard field goal.
Those were legitimate field goals.
The player I was most impressed with, because I expected P.J. Walker to have a good season this year because they have so many weapons around him. But when I looked at that offense, I said the running back position is definitely going to be improved, but is Jahad Thomas a number 1 back? And a lot of people asked that question. And on Saturday, he made a statement, a 135-yard statement and 2 touchdowns of saying, don't believe in me? Well, guess what? I'm a number 1 back. And just to get to this defense, 10 sacks. 10. I've never seen a football team dominate on defense and just manhandle another team's offensive line like Temple did. I said before the game, I said it to Matt Rule on Wednesday, I know it's cliche, but this game will be won in the trenches. And Phil Snow deserves an ample amount of credit because this is a guy that has a complex system. It took Temple 2 years to grasp his system. And now they have so many playmakers. I'm not just talking about 11 guys on the field. There was about 20 players that made a difference on this Temple defense. Hassan Reddick had multiple sacks. Matt Ioannidis got in the sack party. Nate D. Smith. Jacob Martin. And Matakevich is the leader of this defense. And Phil Snow is the man that preaches the right message. And here's what Matakevich had to say about the mind teller in Phil Snow after the game.
I mean, we just stuck to the game plan. I mean, Coach Snow, I mean, he literally told us before the game, like, all right, they're going to come out, score on the first drive, and then probably score on the second, and then you guys will relax. And, I mean, that's literally what happened. And he's like a mind teller. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, but he did an excellent job. And, I mean, these coaches just train us so well. And we knew, I mean, last year it was the same thing. I mean, it was 6-3 at half last year. It was 10-7 at half this year. And I mean, we want to be a tough, Temple tough. I mean, we're going to go 4 quarters with body blows until you quit. And I mean, that's what we did today.
He actually said that, Tyler, that they're going to score 2 times.
I mean, he did say that they're going to come out and score, and we sort of looked at him like, "What are you talking about?" I mean, they did it, but I mean, he's just such an excellent coach. I mean, he's so knowledgeable of the game. He knows so much, and we just stuck to his game plan, and I mean, we came out on top.
That's amazing. That quote from Tyler Medikevich. Because what football coach goes up to their team, the defensive coordinator and Phil Snow, and say, hey, guys, you're going to allow the first 2 scores of this game, and then you'll settle down and play football? That's a guy that knows his football team. That's a guy that clearly wanted to send a message to his football team, and they still trusted their coach. At 10-0, you sometimes panic, especially in the magnitude of a game like this. Temple never panicked, and that's why they're victorious today.
I think the bigger thing in that quote that goes unrecognized is that at the collegiate level, a guy like Tyler Medikevich is smart enough to understand, I need to give my credit to my coach for putting me in the right place. The players are part of the plays. The players are the ones who do it on the field. But it's the coaches who put them in the right places. And you and I were talking a little bit over here. It doesn't matter necessarily if you're the best X's and O's coach. It doesn't always have to be that.
No,
a huge part of it is, and I said it to you,
sending
on our
the
way
right
here,
message.
Half of the battle is believing in yourself. When you are the underdog and you're going against a tougher, bigger team, a huge part of it is establishing, guys, we can do this. Guys, we have the ability to do this, and you know what? We are not going to quit. We're not going to give up. We are in this game until it reads 000.
And that is why Matt Rule said it all leading up to this game. No disrespect to Penn State, but it's not about Penn State. It is about us. And they truly believed that they were going to win the football game 3 months ago, and they truly believed it going in Saturday, and they truly believed it when they were down 10-0. 215-204-WHIP is our number if you want to give us a call. I'm Zach Gelb. He's Michael Zahn. We'll take a quick break. And on the other side, a familiar name joins the show. Kenny Harper, former Temple Owl running back, was on the team last year. He'll join us next.
WHIP Sports Update.
I'm Tom Hanslin, and this report is brought to you by iHeartRadio. You can download the app for free on your smartphone or tablet to instantly gain full access to your favorite music, sports, and entertainment. 74 no more. The last time that Temple football defeated Penn State, it was October of 1941, but in week 1 of the 2015 campaign, the Owls made history.
Another handoff to John Thomas. He finds a hole, and some more bounces on the outside. 10-5, touchdown Temple! No flags! And the Temple Owls increase their lead off the legs of Jahan Thomas. Temple 23, Penn State 10.
And that was Zach Gelb here on WHIP as Temple shocked Philadelphia and shocked the college football world as they upset the Nittany Lions 27-10. Jahan Thomas ran for 135 yards and 2 scores, while the Owls defense recorded 10 total sacks on Penn State quarterback Christian Hackenberg. Temple begins the season 1-0 in back-to-back seasons, and their next test will be at Cincinnati against the Bearcats next Saturday night. Chip Kelly made his final roster moves this weekend, and the chart did not include Matt Barkley or Tim Tebow at the quarterback slots. Instead, the Birds claimed Stephen Morris off of waivers to fill that void. And the Phillies and Braves open up a 3-game set at Citizens Bank Park tonight with first pitch at 7 o'clock. It's 82 degrees with sunshine in Center City, and that's what's happening with reports half past the hour. This is Tom Hanslin, WHIP Sports, your home for the main event weekdays 11 to noon and the Temple Sports Hour from noon to 1.
You're listening to the main event with Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn on WHIP.
The game is over! 74! No more! For the first time in 74 years, the Temple Owls have defeated the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Today, all the Temple alumni and the current Temple players and all the Temple fans can say, we are Temple! we have Beat Penn State. What a scene here at Lincoln Financial Field. The cherry and the white beat Penn State. Final score, 27-10. This is for Bruce Arians. This is for Steve Joachim. This is for the Klecko family, Raheem Brock, Wayne Harden, and all the great Temple players of the past and current. The Temple Owls, led by head coach Matt Rule, have done what many people once thought was the unthinkable. Now, it is reality. The Owls win. Owls win. Owls win.
Next time you're found with your chin on the ground, there's a lot to be learned. So
Welcome back, everybody. That is High Hopes by Frank Sinatra, and that was blasting in the Temple locker room as it does after each and every win. And the leader of the High Hopes crew in the Temple locker room is Ed Foley. And that was just some great video footage that I saw last night. I think it was on ABC 6 of Ed Foley and the entire Temple football team just going nuts. Now let's go out to the hotline and welcome in a former Temple Owl. He was on the team last year as Temple defeats Penn State by a score of 27-10 for the first time in 74 years. And now joining us on the hotline is former Temple Owls running back, and that is Kenny Harper. Kenny, it's Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn here on Temple's campus. Thanks for a few minutes, and how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Well, we're doing fantastic. It doesn't get any better than this, and I know you're pumped up as well as Temple takes down the Penn State Nittany Lions for the first time in 74 years. But after the game, when we were sitting there in the media room, Matt Rule came in, and immediately he started thanking people. And you were one of the people that he thanked because you delivered an emotional speech to the Temple football team following when they beat Tulane and they found it out that they were not going to be going to a bowl game. And he said that your speech made this team better. Take us back to that day when you found out that you didn't make the bowl game. What did you say to that Temple football team?
Pretty much, I just told them that next year, which is this year now, don't let it come down to going into the jury hands or the committee's hands on who's going to the bowl game and things like that. Make it unanimous. Win out the games you're supposed to do. We missed a lot of opportunities last year, and I said next year, don't miss those opportunities. Stay together, stay focused. Just because you get a big win, don't get too high, don't get too low, and just steady every week. Come on, perform, and at the end of the year, you guys should be successful, be in the bowl game. Hopefully, you guys will win the conference championship and more.
And that change of the program is so big, and Matt Rule has just done a phenomenal job in making these players believe, and he said it numerous times leading up to this game, that it's not about Penn State, it's about Temple. And he said no disrespect to Penn State, but that's the mindset that you just have to have. But I know you had to be really excited when you sat there in that fourth quarter and Temple was up 27-10. I know you weren't in the stadium, but what were your emotions like in the final seconds of this game?
My emotions was excitement. I was happy for the guys, Ever since Coach Rule been there and the previous coach, they put so much hard work into having guys trust in each other and themselves and just coming out perform. Previous years, we get to Penn State and guys kind of get a little nervous. And I think this year Coach Rule did a way better job by just telling them to focus on themselves. Before we used to put emphasis on Penn State, like Penn State, but Coach Rule did a good job of just letting them focus on themselves, just worried about taking care of themselves and everything else would take care of itself. So he did a good job of that, and I was excited for the guys. They deserve it. They work hard. It's a good way to get off to this start.
The Elizabeth High School connection is special between P.J. Walker and Jihad Thomas. Last year, Jihad Thomas was on the defensive side of the football, and P.J. Walker said, hey, Coach Rule, let's move him over, and he also told that to Marcus Satterfield. Jihad Thomas had a breakout game on Saturday, as he had 135 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. What did you see out of Jihad Thomas, though, when he made the transition to the running back position, and how confident were you that he was going to be able to replace you in that number 1 role coming up this year?
I was always confident in him, I talk to them guys all the time, PJ and Jihad, they're like my little brothers, and I pretty much told Jihad, I said, it's your ship, just take full of it, just do what you do, trust in yourself and everything good. He has a great skill set. He's got quickness. He can cut very good. So I just said, just let the game come to you, and the more you watch film, it's going to slow down, and it's going to be your year. So
We're talking to former Temple Owls running back in Kenny Harper. Now, we already heard about your speech last year. Did any players, specifically Saturday or maybe even Sunday because they wanted to enjoy Saturday, personally thank you via text or phone call?
No, I kind of let the guys enjoy themselves. I texted most of the guys I'm really close with on the team and just tell them I'm proud of them and congrats, and just enjoy the win. Stay focused. It's the next week. You got to stay focused. Don't get too high off the win on Penn State. And the guys just said thank you, and just gonna do their thing. I don't need no thanks or a speech or anything like that. Because it came from the heart. I meant that. The guys deserve success, and the school deserves success. So it's on them now.
Now, moving to on-field, which is obviously where the game is played, what does this win mean for the program moving forward? Not only are they 1-0 and they beat Penn State for the first time in 74 years, but what does it mean moving forward with recruiting for the Temple Owls?
I think it'll be good for recruiting. It definitely has been on TV, ESPN, and things like that. So a lot of guys are going to look more like, okay, Temple, did a real deal, if they didn't before. But as far as the team, I just think guys have to stay focused because I've been around when we had big wins and guys kind of lose focus and we kind of fall off. But I feel like Coach Rhodes going to do a good job of keeping the guys focused, and the leaders on the team are going to do a good job of keeping the guys focused. And I think this continue.
We all know what Al Golden meant to Temple University, and then when Steve Adazio came here, he had big shoes to fill, and Adazio then departed for Boston College, and that left Temple scrambling for a head football coach. Your players, everyone in that locker room, went up to the AD at the time, which was Bill Bradshaw, and supported Matt Rule. A lot of alumni vocally supported Matt Rule, and they wanted him to be the football coach. And a big reason for that, from the way I evaluated that situation, is because Matt Rule would be a consistent face here to Temple University, and he would get this team moving in the right direction for a long time. You got to play under Coach Matt Rule for many years. What is it like to play for the coach?
He's a player's coach. He's very straightforward. He's going to tell you exactly how he feels, and he'll let you voice your opinion, what you think about what he's telling you. And he does things in the right way. He's a loyal guy. I know that being at Temple, you can always trust in him that he wasn't going to leave or anything like that because he always kept it straightforward with us. So he's a great coach. I think even though this is his first head coaching job, he's going to continue to get better and continue to learn more as he continues to develop his coaching. The future is bright.
And all good coaches need great players, because half the battle's coaching, half of the battle is having the right players in place. And when you take a look at that defense, it was unbelievable, the defensive performance on Saturday. That team had 10 sacks. Their goal to start the year was to get 40 team sacks, and after one game, they are already a quarter of the way there. Tyler Medikevich, though, is one of those great players, and he's such an assiduous player. He's one of those guys that's always doing the right thing. He's the first man in that facility. He's the last one to leave, and he truly does care. Matt Ioannidis is also one of those players. But when you take a look at Tyler, you went up against him in practice, and that must have been a tough experience, but it's one that probably made everyone on the team a better player. What does a player like a Tyler Medikevich mean to Temple University?
I just think he has the right mindset all the time, He's kind of the fuel to the engine, He comes on the field, he's always ready to work, he's always ready to play. He loves the game of football. He's not one of those guys, a roller coaster guy, Of course, throughout the season, you get emotional about certain games, things like that, but he's always the guy that's always ready to work. So younger guys can look at him, older guys that's also seniors can look at him and know, like, okay, Tyler's working, we're going to keep working. You know what I mean? That's what you need from the leader on your team. One of your best players needs that.
Last year, you guys thumped Vanderbilt in the opening game, but then weren't able to start the year off 2-0. What does Temple need to do this year to make sure that they don't fall to 1-1? Because they're facing a really tough Cincinnati team on the road, 8 p.m. at Cincinnati. That's a conference game. What does Temple need to do?
Just stay focused. I think that we have a lot of guys on the team that can play very well, and I think if we stay focused, and every week we retune the engine, I think everybody will be good and ready to go and will be successful. You just got to stay focused and not get too high for the previous win, whatever happened the week before.
Final one here with Kenny Harper, the former Temple University Owl captain, was the running back for the Temple Owls last year. Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn here with you, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia. Kenny, before we let you run, you had a lot of good teammates here at Temple University. Did you share? Can you share some of those texts after the game? What were some of your former teammates saying to you after Temple finally beat Penn State for the first time in 74 years?
I didn't text anybody. Nobody texted me like that, but on social media, everybody was kind of happy and ecstatic about the win. I saw a lot of stuff on Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, so it was cool to see everybody excited about the win.
Well, Kenny, it was a fun day at the stadium. It's a special day, and it's one that Temple University fans will remember for a long time. We appreciate you giving us a few minutes today. Thanks so much, and best of luck in your career.
All right, thank you.
There's Kenny Harper joining us on the hotline, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia. Time in the WHIP studios is 11:44. What we'll do right now is we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back, and we'll wrap up the Temple University football coverage in our show today. I want to play you some great audio and just shows you why Matt Rule just gets it. Because after the game, he went to the alumni tailgate, Steve Conjar's tailgate, and we've had Conjar on this show. That is a bumping tailgate. And he gave the game ball to Coach Harden. We have that audio for you coming up next. Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn here with you. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to The Main Event with Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn on WHIP.
Welcome back, everybody. WHIP Radio here in Philadelphia. This is The Main Event. Zach Gelb and Mike Zahn here with you. Tommy Hanslin is hanging out in the studio with us. Tom, don't you just feel a little bit more giddy than on a usual Monday than after what we just experienced on Saturday?
There's no class. That win.
With Temple taking down Penn State.
That win took a few years off my life.
Few years?
It was.
How hard did you party after the game?
I will not say anything. Ridiculous.
All right.
Saturday night.
Special one. It's a special one. So when Mike and I were walking over to the studio today, we just looked at each other, and this is something that I said before. I've always had the confidence in Matt Rule. I knew he was the right man for this job, but I just said that Matt Rule just gets it. And really, one of those moments where after the game, when he went into the parking lot and he went to Coach Wayne Harden, who coached Steve Joachim here at Temple University, and they had legendary years in 73 and 74. He coached Roger Staubach, and he just shared a special moment. And the moment was Matt Rule giving the football to Coach Harden, and Coach Harden emailed Matt Rule in the morning and told him they would win the football game. Enough from hearing from me. Let's hear the audio from that moment as it was from Steve Conjar's tailgate.
This is Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, so I get in trouble. Hey, I said it on ESPN, you probably didn't hear it yet, but Coach emailed me this morning and told me we were going to win. All right, so Coach, we have a game ball for you. That's really for everybody that played for you.
He got the game ball.
Don't paint it up. Don't paint it up. Just don't hit it with a golf club, Coach.
That's just a guy that gets it. Because Matt Rule, besides the fact that Matt Rule and Wayne Harden coach the same university, really have no connection. And those are just two guys that love football, love Temple University, and care for this program. And he went out there into the parking lot after he could have been doing a million different things. But it was his number one importance, Mike, to go up to the football coach and Wayne Harden and give him the game ball.
We mentioned it on our way here, that he gets it. What other coach can have a career record of 9-16 and be revered as a savior of a program. And it's not a wrong assessment. It is the exact correct assessment because he came in and he immediately said, we're going to run the program my way, and not in an obnoxious way, but there were some still Adazio recruited guys. Now keep in mind, Rule was here before he was head coach and then had a minor stint with the New York Football Giants. But regardless, Matt Rule comes in here and he makes sure he gets his personnel he needs, he gets the player he needs, and he goes 2-10. Has some of the most disgraceful losses in program history. Then they turn around, they go 6-6. They go 6-6. Very impressive. No, I don't think too many people were quite expecting that. But regardless, even if you were expecting that, they don't go to a bowl game still. Now, this is where the pressure is. People now have high expectations of at least 7, 8. Some even have them penciled in for 9 wins. I think that's stretching it, but we'll wait and see what happens. This is a team that they have to start believing in themselves, and Matt Rule has them believing in themselves. He has great personnel with Satterfield and Phil Snow as his offensive and defensive coordinator, respectively. Matt Rule just gets it. The players love him. It's a brotherhood. He has built a program, and the Temple Owls are ready to play.
Now, the Temple football team won't view it this way, but if you ask most people, if I asked you before the game against Penn State and I said you would sign for a split, would you sign for a split between Temple and between Penn State and Cincinnati?
Oh, yeah.
You would have said yes. You would have said yes, and I would have said yes, because some people saw them going 0-2. However, now, and they won't think this way because they want to go out there and they want to beat the crap out of Cincinnati. But in reality, they're playing with house money. Because if you go on the road and you compete and you just fall short about going up against the preseason conference champions, the people that are expected to win the conference champion in Cincinnati in their house, it's not a disgraceful loss. But Matt Rule wants to prevent that letdown. And he said, yeah, we'll enjoy it tonight. But come Sunday, we're going to be back in that facility, and the players were last night, and they're going to be focusing on Cincinnati. And this team will quickly move the page, and I have confidence in that. Now, I don't know if they're going to beat Cincinnati, but that football team sent a message. That football team showed you that defense, we all knew they showed us last year that they were legit, and they're a big-time defense, but that offense, led by P.J. Walker and Jahad Thomas, up against Penn State, which is one of the best defensive fronts that you're going to face all year. The only defensive front that's better that you're going to face this year is probably going to be Notre Dame. And they just dominated in the trenches. That's the best part of this win, is they dominated the football game.
Temple didn't just make a local statement. They made a national statement. Every team on their schedule now has to review their notes and say, okay, you know what? We really realistically might not be able to run the football, at least effectively. And if we do, we're going to have to run to the outside and try and force corners and safeties to tackle us unless Tyler Matakevich is going to run across the field, which he has the capability of doing. You are going to have to throw the football, and that's what this 4-3 defense does. That's what Phil Snow has made this defense. He has made them a defense that you cannot run the ball effectively against. You might be able to break 1 or 2 off. So fine, that's exactly what happened. Penn State was able to get a touchdown, and then they even had a field goal. But that's what you're going to be able to do against this defense. You can't do too much more unless you try and attack them in the air game. And still, even at that, the safeties, the defensive backs in total on this Temple defense are very strong. They might not be quite the front 7, but this is a strong defense up and down. It doesn't matter where you attack, but from now on, you are probably going to see more passing attack against this Temple defense because that is the only slightest chance of beating this Temple team.
This fan base on Saturday was something that I've been begging for 4 years. Freshman year, I didn't see it. Sophomore year, I didn't see it. Junior year, I didn't see it. But that fan base was just awesome. It was electric. And one of my favorite pictures, and I tweeted it out about 3 hours ago, was when everyone started singing, na, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. And it echoed outside and inside the entire stadium. The picture shows the Penn State fans filing out the building. And just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Temple fans just looking at them going, bye-bye.
The walk of shame.
They're waving. Bye-bye. Well, it's a different walk of shame. That's the first time I heard that kind of walk of shame. But it was just a special victory. It's one that in 50 years, you'll tell your children about it, your grandchildren about it, and it's one that you're always going to remember where you were. And we were fortunate enough to be inside the stadium to see this historic day of the Temple Football Owls taking down the Nittany Lions of Penn State. And let me tell you something. The energy in our broadcast booth, oh boy, we were going nuts. And right in front of us, our windows are open. I'm being extra loud. I'm being extra obnoxious. 10-5, touchdown, Temple!
That came anyway.
A bunch of Penn State fans sitting right in front of us. And with about 4 minutes to go, we looked at each other and we said, hey, where'd the Penn State fans go? They were driving home. And guess what? Their football team basically left the stadium at halftime as well because they didn't show up in the second half. Like, am I lying? How great was our broadcast booth on Saturday?
I have never been a part of something so electric and joyous. It was just, I hate to say awesome because I think it's such a lame adjective, but it was awesome. I don't know how else to explain it.
It was electric. It was raucous. Everything that the Temple Owls fan base, the Temple Owl president,
it was like winning a
President
Super Bowl.
Theobald, that's where I think he's pushing it. But that's how Gelb feels. That's how Zach Gelb feels.
I'm sorry. You guys know me. I'm one of the biggest Patriot fans in the world.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. I go nuts. Just check out my Facebook post, my Twitter post. Look at the video of when Malcolm Butler picked off that football.
Unfortunately,
Before
I
I came to Temple University, and I'll tell you when I'm right and I'll tell you when I'm wrong. Leaf Barron, who's a family friend of mine, came up to me and said, if your football team was to ever win a national championship, and obviously it was a hypothetical, he goes, would you rather have that or would you have the Patriots win another Super Bowl? This was before what I knew what the college experience was like. I'll say, I'll take a Super Bowl. But I sat there and I left the stadium on Saturday, and the first thing I thought was Leith was right. A big-time win from your university, there's not too many things that are better than that. It's on the same level as one of the teams that you love winning a championship. And you may say, hey, you're taking it too far. But there's just that certain adrenaline rush. There's that certain level of excitement that goes through your body, and it's undescribable when your college football team, a team that you live and die by, a team that I've covered for 4 years being a student reporter here, when they win, there's just nothing like it. Like, we're playing High Hopes right now. That video that I saw last night on ABC 6 before they interviewed Matt Rule, led by Ed Foley singing High Hopes. Like, what gets better than that? That's your football team. Philly, support your football team. Because this Temple team, they're the real deal. And I cannot wait for Saturday. 8 o'clock, we're on to Cincinnati. All right, everybody, that's going to be the end of our show today. My co-host is Michael Zahn. This Temple Sports Hour is coming up next. I'd like to thank Kenny Harper. He joined us at 11:30 and gave us a really good interview. We'll archive the beginning moments of the show where I yelled a bunch of things out out of pure elation. Enjoy this one, Temple football fans. It's going to be a great Labor Day. It's going to be the best Labor Day that you ever had in your life. Because the Temple Football Owls did what many people once thought the unthinkable. And now it's reality. You look at that box score, and trust me, I looked at that box score a lot. And it's like you almost can't believe it. Temple 27, Penn State 10. Tom Hansen, great sports update today. We appreciate you as always. I am Zach Gelb. Tomorrow I'll be on the Matt Rule Weekly, so it's going to be, who is it tomorrow? It's Tom Hansen and Greg Frank. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's going to be a fun show. 2 hours of you guys.
2 for Tuesday. That's what we're calling it.
And then Mike and myself will be back on Wednesday. I'll be solo Thursday. And then Friday, Mike and I will be there together. And it'll be our first Football Friday. NFL picks, college picks, and more. Oh, boy, I can't wait for the start of the season in the NFL that gets going on Thursday night. Excuse me.
Wednesday Night Football.
Bum, bum, ba-da-bum,
Just
bum.
wait.
They have
Just
Wednesday
wait.
Night Football once to open up the season when the president had his presidential address.
Yeah.
They went from Thursday to
Yeah.
Wednesday. That's right. So, all right, everybody, enjoy this one. Once again, we are Temple. We beat Penn State.